Hola amigos, hola amigas, Dorian here from Hoover. Welcome, bienvenido, croeso y salam alaikum. Welcome to the channel, y'all. Chesh Nyakshmash. So, today's video is another part of the Hoover Junior Dirtsearcher, and as you saw in the last episode, we have now got the bag perfect. So I'm going to put this to one side because that is the final part that goes on to the Dirtsearcher once we've finished. The next thing I want to do is the lens. Now, as this is a Dirtsearcher model, this has a light in the lens. So I need to bring these parts out of the box, which are the handles and the machine itself. I'm sure I switched this on, but I want to try it again. And she is in a sorry state. So the first thing I need to check to see is the handle bail, because they're always a bugger. Yeah, that is not working properly. And I'm not sure if the bulb is working, so let's try it. Ouch. I think I'll be doing that for a while. So the light is not working. So what I need to do is lift up the lens. It's not in too bad a state, but yeah, we can definitely improve on this. So let me just take that belt off. Let's put the rest of this carcass into its box with the handles, and let's concentrate today on the powered light lens. So let me get you guys a little bit closer and we'll take a further look. So I got most of everything that I need here. This is the card for the Hoover Dirtsearcher. Lens. I picked it in Smurf blue so it matches. And if we take a look at the inside here, these seals are always the first thing to blooming go. So I'll take off the remainder of this seal. I'll scrape it off and I'll put a new one on there. So what we have to do is, first of all, to remove this lens. And let me get myself a small Phillips screwdriver. Be very, very gingerly take these off. Now I can see that the bulb has caused some melting to this. Take this off. Take these screws out completely. So this one is lens covered top. This card idea I first saw on Sam's channel, Becco 1987, and it is a fantastic idea. And these are the lens cover sides. So then the lens cover comes off. So I am going to wash this and scrub the marks off it, and then retrobrite it, because It's a shame that that's melted, but I don't have any spares or anything. So, but it'll look a lot better. It's not yellowed too bad. It's just dirty. That is the bulb on the inside. So what I need to do now is to remove it. So there's 2 more screws. There, and then that brings out the whole thing. So we got the lens part there, the top cover, and then this then is where the bulb is. So I'm going to take out this damaged bulb. Which is not twist. There we go. That's bin for that. It is an original bulb, so I'll tell you what, it is an original one. I won't chuck it because it's got the Hoover. It's actually cracked as well. 25 watt. It's got the Hoover logo on it, so I'll keep that because of the Hoover logo. Right, these are the put them in my card before they disappear. And these are lens bottom on metal part. Handwriting, there we go. So there we go, all the screws are now out. So I'm just going to give this a quick vacuum. The next thing I'm going to do is to scrape this rubber seal off, or what's remaining of it. Like so. I'm going to rub a cloth over it, a damp cloth, to clean it up. And that's basically it for this part. And put a new seal on it, which I'll do. I'll come back once I've cleaned it. So a damp cloth to clean this. I'm then going to use a magic sponge eraser to remove all these marks off it. And then I am going to polish it. This I'm going to clean out. I'm going to put some of the peroxide cream on it, cover it in cling film, put the hairdryer on it slightly to warm it up, and leave it outside. So let's go and sort out these two things. Okay, so you join me again back into the kitchen. I do wish I had a sink in the workshop. It would make life a lot easier. So I'm just going to wash these parts first, just with a little bit of fairy works a treat. Just give these a wash over to get the crud out of it. blends. Very careful, these little corner bits are very, very, very susceptible to snapping. Okay, so I'm going to rinse them off. Rinse them with cloth. Now this is very easy part. Don't touch the logo, and as you can see, that's coming off. Just work your way gingerly around the logo. Just work on the sides. So that's what a lot of the damage is. Be careful you don't put too much pressure on this to snap it, because it's already got a scratch on it, so you do not want to snap it. So use your fingers as a kind of support while you rub off. Got my thumb over the edge of the logo there, so make sure I don't. And as you can see, that is coming up really well. Put my thumb there. Now on this side, rinse. I can see some paint there. Almost. Wow, looks like a different lens cover. There's a little bit more paint there. A bit more. Okay. I'm going to get my little scrubby brush. And just make sure I get all the dirt off in that lens. Okay, I think that is done. Let's just rinse it off. That has made such a difference. And when I machine polish that now, that'll shine like the top of the Chrysler building. Okay, next thing I need to do now is back onto this lens and get all the marks off it. These magic erasers are fantastic for this stuff, for this work, for this job I mean. I didn't realise this magic eraser stuff, this foam, is used in very, very big offices. I remember when I worked in, actually I didn't work there, I went for a job interview for NTL, which is now Virgin TV, and the big centre's down in Swansea, call centre. And the office is like, if you can imagine, it's like a giant, like a B&Q kind of like building, if you know what I mean. So it would be very, very echoey because there was a lot of space above you. And they had these huge sheets of foam, like giant mattresses hanging up from the ceiling. I would say they were a good 4 or 5 meters in length and width, hanging all the way over the ceiling to absorb the sound, so that when you were on the phone, the noise didn't echo. The office didn't echo because it was a big warehouse. And I have been told, or so I've read, that that big foam is what is used for this. So there we go. Fact of the day. I don't know if it's 100% true, but anyway, that's what I was told, that's what I read when I was reading up about these lenses. Right, so let me dry that off. I'll rinse it off, sorry. And that looks so much better now. If I just put it in there for you to see, that looks really nice. So a little bit of retro brighting on this should bring it back up white. So the next thing I have to work on now is this bit here. So I'm not going to be wetting anything. This is just using the cloth to clean up the inside of this lens. There is nothing wrong with it apart from that. So that's all I'm going to do with this, is just give it a wipe over, just to remove some dust that has escaped. Dust, anybody dust? What I will do is, with my little Dremel, I'll show you back in the workshop, to clean up this side of it, I'll use my little Dremel. But so what I'm going to do with this is just wipe it over. Make sure all the dirt's out of it. Right, that's all I'm going to do with that. I'm going to leave that to one side. The next thing I need to do now is to retro bright the lens. So the first thing I'm going to do is dry it off. And move you over to the other side. So I got a piece of cling film and the lens on top. I now come along with this, which is the peroxide. This is the cream peroxide for hair colouring and bleaching. I'm going to use my paintbrush that I have here. I'm going to paint it on the back first of all. Now you should wear gloves for this, so I've just got a piece of tissue here, so my bad, I should have brought my gloves in. And dab it on, turn it over like so. Make sure you've got plenty of peroxide cream on it. Okay. So I'm going to cut out this cling film and then fold it up, fold it over, and basically just wrap it up like so. Be careful of the sharp edges because it'll leak. Cut straight through it. And then what I'm going to do now is put the hairdryer on it to shrink wrap it and to keep it all nice and tight. So I'm going to go do that because the hairdryer is upstairs. So you just put the hairdryer over on a higher heat, literally just to make sure that the cling film gets shrink wrapped on it a bit and that it's warm to the touch. Not hot, just warm. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so that is now warm to the touch and shrink wrapped pretty good. Unfortunately, it's not a sunny day today, but I will leave it outside in daylight and we'll come back to it later tonight and we'll see how it's done without any sunlight. So back in a sec. So I think I have everything here now that I need to do to finish off this lens, apart from the actual lens cover that is still outside retrobrighting in daylight, so we'll see how that comes. What I decided to do was, just for the purposes of the video and from my friend Dean, I am going to put a teensy weensy, insy wincy little bit of peak on the inside of this, just to give it a bit of a polish for him. So I'm just going to rub on some peak. You'll never see these parts, but it doesn't matter. If you're going to do a job, do it right. As you can see, it's pulling off a lot of crud. Don't get any on the contact door. And the inside as well, just to make that bulb shine. Keep going around with a little bit of the clean part of the cloth, just to make sure you're not continually spreading crud around. You can see it's pulling off quite a bit. I'm not going to do that side yet because there's something I want to do with that. So just a little bit more all the way around. I'm going to rub it off gently. Just to give it that factory fresh look. The inside. Be careful not to break anything. It's got lots of crud out of it. One last little wipey. Excellent. That looks really nice now, just a bit of added shine to it. Put that to one side for a minute because I might do a little bit underneath. So next I want to address under here. So I have got my Dremel kit here. I'm just going to take out that one. And take a look at the rail track from Miami to Canada. What is that little... oh, there it is. This little wiry one. Oops. Tighten it up and just take this off. Not quite harsh enough. I've got this little, what did I put that little sandpaper on? I'm sure I had more Dremel bits than this. Take a little piece of this fine wire wool, put my gloves back on, and with the tiny little bit of peak, rub this out. Probably could have made a neater job of this, but at least it has taken the crud out of it. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's never going to get seen. I need to get some better Dremel bits. Won't be doing this again with it, but it's clean. Right, let's get rid of this. Squash that a bit, be careful. This is the LED bulb I've got for it. That will stay cooler. Might throw the light off on one side. You can get the clear ones, I just don't have a clear one, so I'm just going to stick with this for now, and if Dean wants to change it to a clear bulb, which I thought I had but I don't have, I will have to get some more. Anyway, so there we go, so that is in there. So that is now modernized LED, which will stay cooler. Now we need to sort out the seal for this. So gloves off, boys. Back to my lovely thing here. So I'm going to measure around where it should go. And I'm going to cut it, because that's obviously too big. So I need to make sure the ends are completely straight. And I'm going to cut off 1/3 of it in a strip. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Like so. Keep that part for future. Peel off the backing. Et voilà, mon petit pot. And stick this on and around. I think it went like that. On it. And just trim off the excess. So there we go. Another seal. Get rid of that. Whoops. Get in there. And now I have to polish this. So if you think that you're you're a bit scared, you can always mask off the logo. Where's my craft knife? There we go. Sugar cubes. So that's protecting that. And now we're going to polish. Never polish on a dry sponge. And V36. This stuff is thick. It's like old man's doodles. Right, okay. And polish. So I really want to go to town on this because this is kind of like the first thing that people see. Make sure you have this gripped tight, and that when you're polishing you stop before you take it off, because otherwise you'll end up with a disaster like what happened to the Dyson. Okay, let's get some clean cloths. Let's see how that worked out. Wow. You can still see the scratches on it. I don't particularly want to get rid of its kind of like history so you can see it's been used, but we just want it to look like new. Be careful with this plastic because it's bloody brittle. And as you can see, that looks amazing. So I'm going to take this off. Just make sure I got all the polish off it. And there we go. Just going to give it one last little spray of Demon Shine. And that looks fantastic. Beautiful shine on it. So now we want to start putting it back together. You want to try and remember how it went? Ah. Oh my god, look at her butt. Right. Okay, like that. So that's how it fits in. Excellent. So these are the back bottom part of the lens. Actually, I should put that on a cloth. Please, just finger tight. To use a slightly bigger screwdriver. Alright, so we got that. So we basically got it back together. That's all I need now is the lens to put on it. So I need to wait for the retro brighting to finish. So I'm going to tidy up my little bits here, get rid of the rubbish, and let's wait for you it's going to be a couple of seconds, for me it's going to be hours while I wait for the retro brighting to be completed. But so far, we are looking good. The only thing I need to do now is to make sure that this fits in perfectly and put the lens cover on. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, you little whippersnappers, I am back. It is the next day. Another fresh cup of tea. And here we have the lens. Now, it's still yellowy, but unfortunately, the retro brighting can't get any brighter than that, as you may have seen from a previous recent video. It's a bit of a shame. So I'm going to try something. I have some here which is Mother's plastic polish. Excuse me. And I've got here my very, very, very fine wire wool. Just a little piece. Now, I haven't tried this before on plastic, so it can't get any worse than what it is. So what I'm going to try and do is see if this mother's plastic polish will dry out. Yes, it has. Let's try it directly from the bottle. And I'm going to use it to rub over it, because normally with this it's kind of really ingrained into it. I'm going to see if this makes no difference whatsoever. Now, I'm taking surface layers off with this, but it's well deep inside, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to just sort of like rub it out. It's too deep, so I'd have to keep retro-brighting it in a hot day, which, as you know, in the UK is an absolute rarity. Okay, never mind, worth a try, but didn't work. Let's crack on with, let's see if that's, it's done a little bit of polishing on it, but I'm just going to carry on with the pad. So I'm going to get a fresh pad. Oh, my fresh pad. What's the first rule of polishing, guys? Never use a dry sponge. Wet the sponge slightly, either with water or, as I've done, with a little bit of Demon Shine. Then put a little bit of this V36, which is as thick as Grandad's snot, and let's see where we go. I'm going to try and hold this up. Okie dokie. Let's rub this off. Wow. And now it looks like milky glass. Absolutely shiny. Still discolored, unfortunately, but it now looks amazing. So my cara keeps getting caught in my glove. So I'm going to put this on to where it's supposed to be. And this is the lens cover top, which is this one here. Again, just finger tight. Especially with these ones here on the side, they are so fragile. Perfect. So there we go. That is our lens sorted. And I have to say, considering what it was like, this looks so much better than it did before. So the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So really to test it. So let's take out the beastie, plug her in. That moved. Yes, it has. This pin has moved ever so slightly. There we go. Now it's this sponge which is causing a problem. Fitting on, but it's not fitting on tight. I'll leave it as it is for now. Once we've finished the rest off, I'll try it then. So no, let's just take this off for a second and try it now. So there we go. We know that the lens works, and I have ordered a couple of the LED clear bulbs, so we're not going to get that light on one side. So I have ordered some of the bulbs, and what I will do is I will swap the bulb for the better one by the time we have finished the refurb. So there we go. So that is the lens now done and dusted, can go to one side with the bag. So we have 2 parts done. Now here comes the challenge. The challenge is this. Now the next thing we're going to be working on in the next video is it's still got its clip, which is really good. The belt is kaput, so we get rid of the belt. And the next thing I'm going to be working on with you guys is the brush roll. I should have kept that to pull it out, shouldn't I? Duh, never mind, hey ho. And I can see inside there is so much dirt, so we'll just leave that for another day. So join me in the next episode where we are going to be restoring and sorting out this brush roll. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Please comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye y'all.